UK needs clean break Brexiteers slam EU plan for transition period and demand. Leave means leave, which is backed by more than 50 Tory MPs and MEPs, has attacked the EU plans for a 2-year transition period which would stop Britain from making its own rules and force it to accept free movement. The concerns have been raised after members of the public inundated the organisation with emails expressing anger about Theresa May's divorce settlement with the EU and the proposals for a transition or implementation period. The open letter from the organisation's two chairmen, businessman Richard Tice and former director of the British Chambers of Commerce John Longworth, has gone to all the members of the cabinet ahead of their meeting today to discuss the end state of Brexit. The letter warns of a deep distrust in the public over the negotiations between the government and the EU. It also attacks Mrs May's promise to go for full regulatory alignment, which some fear will tie Britain to Brussels rules. The letter said, "The proposed regulatory alignment is completely unacceptable and incompatible with the vision of Britain leaving the EU. Only by diverging from EU rules and regulations from March 30, 2019 can the UK fully enjoy the economic benefits of Brexit. It should be non-negotiable that the UK is free to diverge from EU rules and regulations when it leaves the EU on March 29, 2019. The only element of alignment of regulatory outcomes necessary for a continued trade relationship with the EU is that necessary for cross-border trade between the UK and the EU. Leave means leave has also created a litmus test to judge Brexit, which is that the UK is in a position when it leaves the EU on March 29, 2019 to deregulate, including the removal of external tariffs, manage migration, capitalize on global free trade opportunities, abolish the Common Agricultural Policy, CAP, and repatriate fisheries, and the net £11 billion a year paid to the EU. Set our own tax regime and have a more competitive currency." The letter warned, under the current proposal from Brussels, the UK would be nowhere near passing such a test. And it raised fears that the EU is using implementation as a means of keeping control over Britain. The organisation added, "The UK must be free to make its own laws, its own regulations and its own trade deals. The UK has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to become a free trading, outward-looking independent nation, but that is only possible if we truly leave the EU. We urge you to do what is right for the country and ensure that the UK makes a clean break from the EU in March 2019.